Hey everyone, I've got an article that I'm going to read out of the Constitution. Um, and what prompted me to do this is the invasion of the Nazi ice Gestapos invading the streets of the United States. There's a lot of ignorant MAGA idiots on Newsbreak when a news article comes out that want to argue with me on ex- stating that there's not to be a militia, a private militia, unleashed in the streets of the United States unless it is the military of the United States. Okay? No other private militias to be invading our country. And as far as I can tell, ICE is a part of Donald Trump's private military. Okay? Article 1, it says, all legislative powers herein granted shall be vested in a Congress of the United States, which shall consist of a Senate and a House of Representatives. Okay, that's Article 1. Section 8 is where it talks about a militia. Okay. And it does talk about to provide and maintain a navy and government regulations of land and naval forces, things like that. Now, this one I'm going to read has got to do with the military. And this is only a small portion in Section 8. It says to provide for the calling forth the militia to execute the law of the Union, suppress insurrections, and repel invasions. Okay? And ICE invaded our streets. They made the streets of America look like a friggin' war zone. Okay? Smoke bombs, pepper balls, just shooting people in the face, in the head, in the legs, in the back. Seriously. And then it says to provide for organizing, arming, and disciplining the militia and for governing such part of them as may be employed in the service of the United States, reserving to the states respectively the appointment of the officers and the authority of training the militia according to discipline prescribed by Congress, to exercise executive legislation in all cases whatsoever over such district not exceeding 10 miles square as may by session a particular state and the acceptance of Congress become the seat of the government of the United States, and to exercise like the authority over all places purchased by the consent of the legislature of the state in which the same shall be for the erection of forts, magazines, arsenals, dockyards, and other needful buildings, and to make all laws which shall be necessary and proper for carrying into execution the foregoing powers and all other powers vested by this Constitution in the government of the United States or in any department or officer thereof. Okay? Congress never gave permission for ICE to invade the streets of America like they have. Okay? This is not okay. And it needs to be stopped. Okay? So, it's also been said to impeach and convict and remove Trump with Article 1, Section 8. Okay? Section 8 covers a lot. The Congress shall have power to lay and collect taxes, duties, imposts, and exercise to pay the debts and provide for the common defense and general welfare of the United States, but all duties imposed in excess shall be uniform throughout the United States. To borrow money on the credit of the United States, to regulate commerce with foreign nations and among several states and with the Indian tribes, to establish a uniform rule of naturalization and uniform laws on the subject of bankruptcies throughout the United States, to coin money, regulate the value thereof and of foreign coin, and fix the standard of weights and measures. That pertains to taxation, the amount and percentage of taxation, to provide for the punishment of counterfeiting the securities and current coin of the United States. Now, I don't know how they don't see Bitcoin and crypto as being a form of counterfeit money, because it's able to be transferred and flipped over in order to possess money, monetary funds from the Department of Treasury, paper money. Nobody's even seen what an actual Bitcoin looks like. To me, that's embezzling money. Okay? Now, I'm not saying for a given fact that he's embezzling money, because I don't have the actual hard, concrete, physical proof to present for that. But how do you flip a Bitcoin or crypto in order to obtain money? To me, it's counterfeit when you're doing that. And embezzlement. So, somebody needs, and to me, in my opinion, somebody needs to look into that. Okay, because I can't just take a gray plastic coin out of the money kit that you can order off of an online place like Etsy that kids use to learn how to count money with, and go buy something at the store with it. It's not actual money. to establish post offices and post roads. Anybody that works for the post office, might I listen to this? Because there's no way that you cannot deliver someone's mail. And someone's mail also consists of the mail-in ballots. So you really might want to rethink not delivering someone's mail. Tampering with mail is a federal offense. That also includes intentional non-delivery of mail, especially dealing with a ballot. To promote the progress of science and useful arts by securing for limited times to authors and investors the exclusive right to their respective writings and discoveries. EPA is a part of science. Vaccinations, that's a part of science. Just saying. To constitute tribunals inferior to the Supreme Court to define and punish piracies and felonies committed on the high seas. You know what comes to mind with that? The Iranian War, taking possession of the Iranian ships is piracy. Bombing fishing boats in the Caribbean, which is international waters. International waters don't belong to any one state or country. That's open waters. And offenses against the law of nations. Triple bombing a girls' school, bombing bridges, bombing the salinization plants for clean drinking water, bombing the oil plants. Yeah. Doesn't look too good. To declare war, grant letters of marque and reprisal, and make rules concerning captures on land and water. Didn't they capture and seize the Iranian vessels? Didn't Trump capture and seize the Venezuelan oil ship and just keep it? To raise and support armies, but no appropriation of money to that use shall be for a longer term than 2 years. To provide and maintain a navy. To make rules for the government and regulations of the land and naval forces. To provide for the calling forth the militia to execute the laws of the Union, suppress insurrection, and repel invasions. Suppress insurrections. Repel invasions. Could that be why Barack Obama didn't cut the Nazi ICE Gestapos loose in the streets of America like Donald Trump has? Things that make you say, To provide for organizing, arming, and disciplining the militia, and for governing such parts of them as may be employed in the service of the United States, reserving to the states respectively the appointment of the officers and the authority of training the militia according to the discipline prescribed by Congress to exercise executive legislation in all cases whatsoever over such district not exceeding 10 miles square as may be cession of the particular states and the acceptance of Congress become the seat of the government of the United States and to exercise like authority over all places purchased by the consent of the legislature of the state in which the same shall be, for the erection of forts, magazines, arsenals, dockyards, and other needful buildings, and to make all laws such shall be necessary and proper for carrying into execution the foregoing powers and all other powers vested by this Constitution in the government of the United States or in any department or officer thereof. So, I think that Congress might oughta maybe read through the Constitution of the United States of America before they just go on and cut Donald Trump loose with a blank check. That's just me, though. So anyway, I'm going to jump off here. Got a few things that I need to do, and have a great day. And I hope everybody, including Donald Trump, has the day they deserve. Like, share, and subscribe.